gonna start the stream tactic of just hitting record, and we keep talking about whatever we're talking about.
Talking about whatever we were talking about before.
That's right.
Well, I felt like because you played WoW, Oliver, and
yeah, I did.
Like that, I feel like has a little bit better learning curve because you're actually expected to kind of like befriend the people that you play with.
Yeah.
As opposed to Dota, where you're definitely not meant to befriend the people you play with.
No, literally the only way to learn Dota is to have 4 other friends who are good at Dota already and are
Who
like,
decide to carry you.
we're just gonna be committed to losing with you for a little while.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is
the only way.
Legitimately a fun way to play. Heroes of the Storm with 4 other people was some of the best gaming that I've ever had in my life. Like it's super duper fun to play with a full stack.
Whoa. Craig, did you know that there's another streamer called Poo2 Game?
Let's take him out.
And he's actively streaming right now.
No! No, unacceptable.
How dare you?
I really thought you had like a super unique name there. I cannot believe there's...
He's a knockoff. I already have imposters.
Poo2 Game.
Is that actually true? That this is a different person than you?
Yes, live streaming.
Wow, that sucks real bad.
They're playing Grand Theft Auto 5. They're in some sort of biker gang, it looks like, in multiplayer.
Well, we have no biker games here, folks. Just some good old Dungeons and Dragons.
But they have one viewer, and it's me right now, which I'm about to switch over to Poo2.
Oh, he's even stolen my views. How dare he?
Yeah, that is a little weird because like the first when you go to search and you type PU2, he pops up.
What?
But
I'm not even first on the search.
you don't even pop up at all.
You're about to have more viewers than he is, so
Yeah.
I'm thinking about seriously filing a complaint here. This is
Yeah, we'll have to talk to the Twitch administrators.
yeah. This is just
Poo2 on the streaming channel. You might want to shrink the chat bar just a little bit so more of the screen is taken up by you know, the actual action.
Yep.
Potentially. You also might want to clear chat because right now all of our excessive rolls are on there.
Whose fault is that, sir?
I don't know.
Rolling them crazy rolls.
Oh, that's right. I have control. I'm sorry. Greg.
I have the control.
Poo2.
Are we trying to roll big numbers right now?
Well, we were just testing out the die. Turns out, as usual, I'm unlucky and Oliver's lucky.
unless this is Genshin Impact, in which case
my one lucky game.
No one is as lucky as you.
I think we're live. Am I coming through pretty good on audio, guys? For the
let me listen for a moment.
If we are,
unless this is Genshin Impact, in which case
Genshin Impact.
No one is as lucky.
All right, there we go. I cleared the chat.
Yeah, you're coming through. Mm-hmm.
Cleared the chat.
Well, hi folks. It's Monday
howdy.
night, which means we have a good game of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, shout out to Poo2 Mom in the chat.
Oh, hey Poo2 Mom. Thanks for showing up.
Poo2 Mom,
Stay
hi.
alive.
We will attempt to.
Thanks for the advice,
Unless
Mom.
you're talking to only your son, in which case, bit rude.
I don't know. This is kind of a scary map. We've already zoomed in on here. That our DM has us here in this kind of
There it is.
Scary map.
We hadn't used
Scary map
Airborne in a
alert.
while.
Scary map alert. Great. Quick question just for me. How do I shrink the chat box?
If you just if you move your mouse to the edge of it, it should have like a little adjust bar thing. Move it right to the edge of the chat.
Quick question. Just wow.
Who was asking that? That's weird.
Wow, that sounded like a very handsome voice. Huh, who was that?
Poo2?
That sounds like an announcer voice.
I think I'm gonna have.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have my name showed up as Awakened Tree.
I awakened tree.
Awakened Shrub.
Your DM,
I'll
the
be
Awakened Shrub.
Awakened
my
shrubs were our
fire.
first enemies. Aw.
Um,
With their 0 damage attacks occasionally.
yeah, I'm not getting that option here. Also, the browser I'm using in OBS is very weird, so I don't.
Well, it's fine. It's
kinda
not bad.
hard to do. It's just a bunch of numbers there, folks, for you to look at. That has nothing to do with tonight. So I'm your Poo2. I'm apparently not the only other Poo2 out there. So we're gonna have to clear that up. So fans, if you can help us track down this other Poo2 and tell them that I've got the market on the name, I'd appreciate it. As I mobilize the troops here. He's probably a super nice guy. I'm just kind of already on edge.
Just really pooping on him here.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know the guy, so I should probably dial it back
Yeah,
a little bit.
Trying to
Who too?
establish early
I feel like
Dominance.
number
It's
2,
dominance.
Poo 2.
There's
There's something there.
There's something we can workshop it.
There's a joke there.
We are on session 15.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
The Unbeaten
15.
Yes. Just a couple announcements before we go into the craziness that tonight has for us. One is that I will be updating our YouTube channel to archive a lot of the ones that we haven't archived yet. They are all here on Twitch, but we will be moving them over to YouTube this week. Also, new campaign alert. We will be starting in 2 weeks. That is the 30th of May. Gets me every time. Thank you for that. We will be starting another session on Sunday nights at 9 o'clock. And 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock for both nights. Starting on the 30th, we will have 2 sessions going on Sunday nights today and Monday nights today. We will still have Unbeaten Path on Monday nights at 8, but starting on the 30th, on Sunday night at 8 o'clock, we're going to start a new campaign called Kaiju Slayer. And it's set in the Pacific Rim universe, and we met with the players last night. I'm excited. More content just for you, just on this channel. A reminder to hit the follow, the likes, and the subscribe so you can get more updates on this content. And I will kick it to our DM for tonight's session. PS Zombie. How are you doing, PS Zombie?
Doing well.
Good.
Excited to play some game.
Some games.
Yeah, so last sesh, our players. Well, first of all, we're playing a campaign that's a little bit based on sort of an ever-changing dungeon with various, different sceneries. Sometimes it's a forest. Sometimes it's what else has it been? A sea, an ocean. Anyways, it's different every time you attempt this path. And our players are currently on their 3rd venture down the path. Heading downwards. We knew upwards headed towards... well, I don't know if we ever knew exactly where we were going.
We had ideas.
Yeah, we'll leave that as mystery. But we went on the downwards path this time. And in the very first room, we found ourselves swallowed by some tremendous beastie, and now somewhere within its maw we encountered Ungwe, who is a Jerider. For those not familiar, that is half drow, half spider. It's just that simple. And as previously told by the house band Huga, we know him to be the guardian of the downward path. So that's kind of where we are. We're inside something, talking to someone. And I'll kick it off for a little bit of introductions. You can start us out, Battle Armor, if you like.
Sweet. Yeah, so my handle is Battle Armor. I'm playing as the character Karos Fester. I am a Varial armorer artificer. A lot of alliteration there. Yeah, I am currently joined by a small mechanical leopard, I believe.
She's
named Ray.
medium. So-
Well, yes, she is a regular size.
and she's a Black Panther.
Panther. That's right. Yeah. We have a good rapport building up.
She's a good girl.
Yeah, I am somewhat the tank of the party. I have built myself to be a little bit more armor classy than the average artificer. That's me.
Much more armor classy than the average bear, which has an AC 13, 11, something like that.
And I am going to go now. I am Alibaba, the warlock with the genie patron of the group with fiery lion. Let's say
Yours is a
tiger-esque. Yes, tiger. Familiar and companion. I mean, and I like to shoot fireballs.
Don't we
Pet
all?
is acceptable. I know. I chastised it before, but
Oh, it's now acceptable.
mechanically they're
Cool.
pets. Let's be honest.
Good to
And
know.
then Putu.
Yes, it's your boy Putu. I play Anubis Calfin. I am a Minotaur Grave Domain Cleric. And I have a fiery companion. Also
I mean, he's fiery in spirit. He's not fiery in mechanic.
I know, it was a spitfiery and also in character. There's not really
But he doesn't spit fire.
I know,
unlike
it's-
Alibaba's.
so misleading. He's a I don't know how else to describe it, but those things. But
A lion.
yeah, there you go. He's a lion that likes to engage in battles, and I sort of sidelined him, so he's a little upset with me at the moment. But I'm putting him in, pulling him off the bench, and I think we'll mend our relationship a little bit. But he's my companion / pet, Dalio.
Pet Panion.
Pet Panion. That's right. So that's a little about me.
Sweet. I'd say that was our best introduction yet.
What? I don't believe it.
I'm kidding. I felt like I talked in a confusing manner, but yeah. So you find yourself here. Yeah, you see Nur Ongwe is a large being. His drow part, his sort of he's almost like a centaur, but instead of a horse body, he has a tremendous spider body. So his upper body is typical humanoid size, but his spider part is large in size. And I believe he said something along the lines of, woe to those who enter the eternal worm. Welcome to Ouroboros.
And we were all very scared of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so getting right into it, I think I would probably just put my hands in a non-threatening manner. And hello, is this your domain?
Mubis is kind of not noticing. He kind of plopped in and looked around and didn't see anybody else in the room. And then when Karal starts talking, he's like, "Oh, geez!" He gets freaked out by the scary-looking spider. Oh, what is that? Oh, heal, Dalio. Heal. It is scary, but heal.
Alibaba is just kind of like looking down at this green liquid, trying to figure out what it is.
And Narangwe will respond. He'll say, Ouroboros belongs to no creature.
And to clarify, do you mean just exactly where we are right now is a large worm? Or did you mean in general the path was a large worm? Because I have had theories.
Let's put it this way. You are no longer on the path.
Oh.
Try not to die.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Whoa.
And to you as well. I assume that's some sort of polite greeting in his world.
What does this mean? What does this mean, Karas?
I have met many like you who would walk this path. And you are blessed or cursed, maybe. Ouroboros does not often intersect with the likes of you.
Well, we're quite honored. We were wondering if what is your name, by the way? Did we get that? I can't remember if we already got his name.
Not especially. You, the players, do, but he says,
Yeah.
I am Nur Ungwe.
Oh, that means we've reached the bottom of the downward path. Well, that's certainly interesting. I'm surprised.
He gives a very joyless laugh and says, You are not on the bottom of any path, for you no longer walk the path.
Yes, but aren't you supposed to guard the bottom of the path?
I guard against those who would invade my realm.
Oh yes. Well, as you can see, we're just 3 people, not much of an invasion, and we were literally going to leave and then come immediately right back through, if that's acceptable. We're looking for the guardian of the middle bit, and we can't quite reach him. So, if you would be so kind, I'm sure we wouldn't bother you by just going out and coming back in, would we? Or
I believe you misunderstand your situation. You were swallowed by Ouroboros, the snake that eats its tail. He is a being on the level of gods and stands far apart from the path. He chose to bite a chunk out of it, but don't assume because he did he has some connection to it. We are in another realm entirely. If you want to return to the path, you'll have to convince Ouroboros to place you back there.
troublesome. Well, I can't say we'd exactly like to return to the path where we were, but I can't imagine we'd like to exist inside of the stomach of a worm for very long either. Is it? Can you speak with Ouroboros, or shall we move more towards the head or something?
Ouroboros would be incomprehensible to beings like you and I.
Well, then how would we?
So that's a no?
There are a few ways out of Ouroboros. As I say, he swallows his tail, so the gastric tract you find yourself on, it will be useless to you. It will only lead you back here.
We're used to that.
But there are other ways. Think of this not like a realm, but as a creature.
What is this creature moving through currently? Is it space? Is it underground? Is it itself somehow?
Who's to say?
Were you also swallowed?
Where are any gods?
That's a
I
fair
am
point.
not here, so to speak. And he raises out his arm, and you see it crumbles into a mass of tiny spiders who then reform into a hand.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
well, that's
I
disconcerting.
am Lord of Spiders. They do as I tell them to.
Why would you assist us in this way? It's very kind and I appreciate it, but information is not usually so readily given.
Ouroboros interacting with the path is a rare occasion. I just came to see, happened to run into you. there's nothing I can do in this form, so why not cheer you on?
I appreciate the confidence, or at the very least, the interest.
I lean over to Alibaba. Or I guess since we're kind of separated, I just kind of loudly whisper over to Alibaba and say,
You're not that far apart.
"It doesn't seem like he's cheering us on."
Yes, this is a little weird. Dear Ugway, sometimes when you cheer people on, you give them things, like, you know, ways that, they can do better. So, you got any other advice on what we should do?
Norangway. He stares at you for a moment, and then he kind of smiles, and he skitters towards the back of the room on his spidery legs, and you can see that the platform in front of you is not so high that you can't see that there is a not stony, but like I say, almost like rhino skin. It's a very hard gray flesh that makes up most of this cavern. But in the back of the room here, there is a sort of sphincter that, as the acid builds up in front of it, it opens, lets it flood in, and then immediately shuts again. So there's no point it's not completely encased in acid while it's open. But you can see that it does lead somewhere else. And he gestures to it and says, Ouroboros may be huge, but it's a creature like any other. Find a way out. Any exit on a normal creature will be an exit on Ouroboros.
He means the butt.
No, it swallows its own tail, so that's the one exit that won't do.
Yeah, mouth and butt seem untenable.
Is there a way to, go instead of continue on this circle, forever, for all eternity, until we go mad? Is there a way to that you know of to get out of this circle, this digestive tract, if you will?
Roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
Numbers.
Persuasion. There we go.
That's not bad. He'll kind of lower his arm and roll his eyes, and he'll skitter back to the platform where he previously was and say, what do they teach you these days? I swear the Underdark and educational system is so much more advanced. Gastro tract
I didn't go
to
school.
bloodstream, bloodstream to lungs, lungs to exit.
That makes sense.
Oh yes, I should have figured that out.
Nose was my
That's
idea.
what
anyway.
I was thinking all along.
I mean, I did literally say nose.
Roll a deception check.
Oh no.
First roll of the night. Brr, 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 brr.
A virtually
Oh.
consequence-free deception check.
Consequence free in that. If you roll a natural one, he might just murder you straight out, though.
That was pretty bad.
It's reasonably close to me.
Oh man.
Right, let me confirm this dude's wisdom score. See how much he sees through your bullshit. He'll kind of squint his eyes and then finally nod after like a way too long time, just like, yeah, all right. But then he says, hey, with any luck, Ouroboros will drop you right at my doorstep. I look forward to a future encounter.
If we do make it there, would you consider our request to just let us through? It doesn't need to come to blows. I fear you would win anyway. Rather boring to fight a predetermined fight.
And at you saying this, you can see a almost like angry or disgusted look on his face. And he says, the path keeps those who fulfill their purpose. And then the spiders immediately melt into a massive pile of spiders instead of the form of Nurongway you had seen. And they all hop in the acid and burn away.
Oh dear.
Well, that was sort of extreme.
My eyes.
Well,
I can't unsee it.
Sounds like we made it, guys. We're off the path. Well
Looks
done.
like we made it.
Pats all around.
Somehow I don't.
That's
That's it.
I gotta stop.
thaumaturgy.
Somehow
Textbook
I-
thaumaturgy.
Somehow I don't feel
Anybody
that
here?
this is any better.
No, it's mostly a joke. Well,
It's
interesting.
very similar, except for with Forever Death.
What? Ooh.
Permadeath.
I feel I have made a bad mistake. Bad, terrible. Oh, man.
Not getting out when you could.
Whatever do you mean, Alibaba?
That's it. It's between me and Kipling. I wasn't talking to you.
Oh, yes.
If you want to know what we're talking about, go watch the last couple episodes.
That's right. Check them out on our stream.
All right. Well, even though we're not on the path, I see no reason to dilly-dally unless you'd, I don't know, like to take a little rest if anyone's too hurt from that alligator fight.
What happened to my children?
We're not quite on the same time scale that we were on before. Who's to say when, we won't be digested or whatever, though?
Yeah, for now there seem to be plenty of ways to stay out of the acid. So as far as the room you're in, as I said, it's made of a very stony-esque flesh. And it does seem to be formed, not dissimilar to a crafted place. It's with how ancient and otherworldly Ouroboros is, he has formed within himself almost a realm unto itself. Like he's as much a creature as he is a plane of existence almost.
He's all parts of a noun. He's a person, a place, and a thing.
Nice.
Indeed.
What about this crystal that's floating in the middle? Is that?
Is that
So
real?
yeah, there. So this map is pretty accurate. So you can hit me with a perception check if you want to have a look around, or if you want to investigate that specifically, you can do an investigation check.
I'm gonna investigate that sphincter specifically.
The sphincter at the top, or the crystal thing in the middle?
The sphincter at the top is what I was gonna look
For
at.
certain.
While they're looking at the butts, I'm gonna
I know it's a humorous word, but there are many sphincters throughout the body. It is just the name for like a port.
Indeed. I think your body has 9? Oh, golly. I don't actually know how many.
So Alibaba is going to investigate the green floating crystal.
Swell.
I would like to give Alibaba advantage and help him out.
You can both have a look.
Amubis is also.
The body has 6.
Moo. Yes, moo. Yeah, so Alibaba, you can roll again to
I
represent
see.
advantage.
I will do that. I don't know why I keep closing my character sheet.
Yeah, so Kuros, what
Oof.
what you kind of see is
Investigation is not a strong suit of Alibaba's.
the acid seems to be building up at the sphincter, which then opens, lets a flood of acid through, and then closes again.
What kind of schedule is that on?
Um,
Is it happening quite rapidly, like a heartbeat, or is it happening like once every 3 minutes?
no, it's more every few seconds. It's fairly rapid. Kind of like this is kind of his salival system almost. Like the acid is generating here and then flowing down.
Yeah.
Um, so you see that enough time between them happens that you probably could get through, but you'd have to be completely submerged in acid to do so.
Two quick things. One, I do. It's never come up before, but I own a quarterstaff. So
Okay.
I'm going to put it into the acid to see if it like burns it proper, or if it's just like it'll start to eat it away after a little while.
Yeah. Let's see. You can do a
This is also
maybe like a nature check, or if you have alchemical supplies proficiency, you could do that.
Indeed, I do not. I'll just do it. I'll do a quick nature check.
Oh, that's not bad.
17.
So
Nature being an int skill, really
it
weird.
melts through the end of the quarterstaff. It fairly quickly. Um, you can kind of guess that it's like a 2d6 per round
Okay,
acid damage.
reasonable.
So, but the one thing you can't see is how long you would be submerged passing through
Yeah,
this tract. So, it could be 1 round, which should not be so bad. It could be 5 rounds, and suddenly we're like, you know.
indeed.
So you can't see how far it goes. And as far as the structure that you're looking at, other fellows, you can see that it is a stalagmite.
Coming from the ground, it's a stalagmite. Yes.
Yes, it's a stalagmite type protrusion, but it's definitely fleshier than the other other parts of the cavern, which are kind of that more hardened, more callous material. But it's kind of slightly waving back and forth. It has a kind of mucus around it that is a similar hue to the acid that you see all around. But it's kind of just a fleshy thing sticking up.
So Alibaba is gonna take his staff and kind of reach out and poke it.
Okay, just kind of like
just to see what happens.
careful with that, Alibaba.
yeah. So its texture is like thick and rubbery. So when you push it, you have to put a little effort behind it to actually get it to move, because this thing is probably the size of a humanoid, and it just kind of wobbles when you push it.
That looks fun.
It's a blast.
It's not.
It's
kinda
actually
gross.
terrific.
Yes, I was hoping for a reaction of some sort, but I'm going to move on now. I don't want too large of a reaction when I'm in a room filled with acid.
Are there any player races resistant to acid naturally? I don't
I
think
think
so.
Yonti, maybe?
Yeah.
I think they're resistant to poison.
Poison. I thought they could use Acid Splash as a cantrip, so I was thinking maybe they were
Might be
acidic
right.
in general, but you might be right.
It might be poison
Nobody's
spray.
resistant to
Might be poison
acid.
spray. You're right. Well, bit of a
I mean, if you want to take a better look at the room, somebody can do a perception check.
Yeah, I'll do a quick perception sweep, and I will give myself guidance. Horrible. 10.
So as you look around, this is a chamber that functions similar to a mouth of this particular beast. The acid pool is constantly regenerating, building up, and then flushing through that sphincter you saw. This happening every few seconds. The sphincter opening, but the actual building up seems to be a fairly slow process. To where, like, if you hypothetically, like, the sphincter were to stop, it would take quite a while for the room to fill. And you, like I said, there's that fleshy protrusion, but there's also a couple of other fleshy protrusions in the room. In addition to a couple of pools of acid that are within the sort of walkable areas. So there's pools of acid kind of here, if you saw that, and over here, and there are additionally fleshy protrusions here and over. As you're able to see that.
Indeed.
Do you think it would elicit their response if I shot one of these protrusions?
I can't possibly see how that would go wrong.
All right, okay.
No,
I see your point.
I do actually think, in the spirit of scientific inquiry, I was going to try to injure the beast from the inside. So, as long as we're all sort of on board with it, I'm going to get away from the pool of acid in case, some form of earthquake or something happens. So I'm going to be over here. Rainier is going to be over here. Rainer, my bad. Every time.
Whatever you like. You probably know German pronunciations better than I do.
It's probably just Rainer. And yes, I believe trying to shoot one of the protrusions isn't actually all that bad of an idea.
Okay, so Anubis, do you want to?
Yes, perhaps come back from the acid, Anubis.
Do you want to risk it all?
I don't like any part of this. He just looks around. He really is kind of grossed out by being inside a monster.
Well, this is an entirely new plane of existence we're in. It has different rules, seemingly, and so it no pun intended, behooves us to figure out how exactly things work. And if we need to watch out for using area of effect spells or hitting the ground too hard or something like that in case the monster reacts, I'd like to know that now in a more controlled environment than fighting, I don't know, spiders are literally the only thing we found here, but big spider, something like that.
Okay. So, DM, I would like to cast Eldritch Blast on this protrusion over here.
Sure. It's not defending itself in any way, so I'll say you just auto hit, so you can just roll damage.
Okay.
But I mean, like, just you can roll the attack, but it doesn't matter what it is. Just roll damage after that.
Unless it's a nat 1, in which case you shoot yourself.
Or a nat 20.
Oh my gosh, what a waste!
For double damage.
Double damage on the worm.
Not quite
Well,
double damage.
To be perfectly fair, I mean, like, you are hitting a monster, technically. So
Plus a little fire in there too.
Yeah, which is 3 right now, right?
Yeah.
Efficiency minus 3.
15 plus 3.
So that's, you do 18 damage, or you do 15 force and 3 fire damage. Um, so as you blast that protrusion over there, it your Eldritch Blast kind of koosh explodes and it withdraws for a moment, and then it slowly starts to come back up again.
Oh, this is so weird.
No, I suppose that's helpful.
You do have a second blast. Unless you're pumping both of them into that.
Should I do it again? Okay. All right. I'm gonna do it again. Just, yeah.
Yeah, you can just roll damage. It is not able to avoid your attack, and I'll say you're certainly accurate enough. Minimum damage, but it so the first one hits it, and it kind of, like I say, retracts, withdraws almost, and then slowly starts to come up. When the second one hits it, it retracts again, and then slowly starts to come up again. So it seems to react by withdrawing.
Well, whatever the function, they can take a lot of damage. So
Yeah, it's interesting.
And when it withdraws, it kind of secretes some more of that acid, which then drips over the edge and joins kind of the acid pool.
Do we need to keep filling up the pool?
It fills itself up pretty regularly, certainly enough for our purposes. I'm concerned about taking Nurungwe's path, just due to the fact that we'd probably end up taking enough damage to certainly knock out our wonderful companions here, and maybe even one of us if the pipe goes on for too long. So I'd like to figure out some way to either protect ourselves or keep the sphincter open for long enough for us to go in without touching the acid too much. I was thinking of finding some way to brace it open, perhaps. It does remain open for a moment while it's full. If we had something that could brace it while the acid was still running through and then hold it open as we skittered our way through.
if only we had an immovable rod of some kind.
Yeah, only.
Maybe. Is there a column or something we can knock over?
Did that central stalagmite seem removable?
It's kind of grown into the platform that it's on. They're both of flesh.
Fair enough.
It's kind of like, it reminds you of an upside down uvula.
Indeed, it did.
Why don't I send Newt through and see if he comes back?
Newt will die immediately.
Oh, I miss Newt. Bring him back.
I'm sorry to tell you that I do truly think that Newt would not make it more than 4 steps.
But you do have a companion who can come back.
Yeah. But
Who has slightly more than 2 hit points.
I'm inclined to try to figure out a bit more about this place before we go sending anyone through to take the damage. We also can't communicate all that well with our companions. We can't see through their eyes or anything like that, so...
I don't know what you're talking about. Me and Dalio have an understanding, and I turn to Dalio. What's Dalio doing right now?
He's supremely bored with all of this. Now that he's kind of sufficiently far from the acid, he has lied down. He's done until something convinces him to not be done. He's taking a nap.
I lie down next to him. I agree with Dalio.
He shifts away from you.
Oh. We gotta work on our relationship.
So we've seen the one side. What was that? What was that the other side?
There's another one of those protrusions and another one of those pools.
And how about down the river?
Like this way?
Yeah.
That is currently sealed. That's where you entered. So you gather this is sort of the entrance to the mouth.
Gotcha.
But it is covered like top, bottom, sides with very spiky protrusions. It is not navigatable.
Untenable. Gotcha. I am going to I'm gonna just take a little swing at the stalagmite just to see
Sure.
what we got here. Just gonna use my
Ooh,
fist.
let me help you.
14 thunder damage.
Yeah, so you punch this stalagmite, and it withdraws. It can't quite go as far down as the other ones are, which are a little bit. They're kind of wider, but shorter, so it kind of sucks down. But you do see the sphincter quiver ever so slightly.
It's
What?
possible that even though we aren't in the path anymore, this might be a sort of rule of threes thing. And perhaps we should all attack one of these protrusions at once and see if there's, not a change if we sort of harm it multiple times at once.
Is there a certain damage you think would, in your scientific opinion, would work better? I could hit it with some necrotic, and he kind of holds his hoof up, or
I
I
would
could
say-
just bash it. I hold up my shield.
Try to avoid acid due to the fact that that seems fairly obvious to me. But other than that, I couldn't tell you much more about that.
Very well, and I
I'd
get my
say
shield up.
Give it a whap on my mark, and I'm gonna try to. Can I make it over here pretty easily? Or is that
Yeah, I'll say especially with your ability to kind of float a bit.
yeah?
You can float across pretty easily and then clamber up.
Sounds good. I'll make it over here. I'll have Rainer assist Amubis.
Okay,
All right.
on three. We
Yeah.
all have to do the damage at the same time in the character sheets. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh,
Chat moved.
it worked.
Wow, mine sucks.
So you all smack the thingamajobs, and as you do your synchronized smack, the sphincter opens and the acid starts flooding through, and it remains kind of quivering open for a moment. But Amubis and Karos, you see out of the corner of your eye, just barely missing you, a flash of gray.
Like a shot?
A touch of gray.
Like a shot across the bow?
Not dissimilar.
But Alibaba does not.
Alibaba's far enough away. As you whip your head around to see what's happened, you can see gray ooze.
Grooze.
Oh yes, the worst kind of ooze.
No.
Starts to shift. When it's not moving or attacking, it's indistinguishable from small pools or rocks. Luckily, they managed to miss you all, even with advantage.
Wow.
Dalio, assist.
I assume.
Get
Thundercats.
this.
Oh.
And now that you're aware of such a thing existing, you can see, Alibaba, that they were hanging out near the extension, but you were far enough away.
Mm.
Getcha.
Well, good thing we know that they don't have very good to hit.
Yes. Well, yours would have hit Anubis, but Anubis's did not hit it.
Alas.
All right, so we got to
Well,
roll
I am
initiative
actually
on
getting-
three.
Yes, let's roll initiative.
Initiative.
Sorry, let me pull this up and let me clear it real quick.
Uno, dos.
Restart the count.
We start the count. Don't. I'm gonna do 3 different rolls for the gray oozes.
Noise.
You
got
got way better than me.
3 clusters, you know.
Everybody, noise.
Anubis, the only one of us with any dexterity.
That was the Kuros cluster there. This is gonna be the Anubis cluster.
Sounds like a pretty cool galaxy.
And then this is gonna be the Alibaba cluster.
That's the best galaxy.
That's like where Star
And
Wars is at.
then Anubis, you're first.
So first I would like to get Dalio to move closer to either Alibaba or myself.
Okay.
So I will spend his. Can he just use his movement? I guess he can't use like a dash action, correct? He's just got his movement.
With your bonus action, he can.
Yeah, you can use your bonus action to command him to take any regular action,
Okay, so
including dash.
I do that. How much? I don't have his sheet open. He's got
Probably got 40 feet.
40.
All right. Anubis, go ahead and roll a persuasion check for me.
To get him to cut. Oh man,
That's right.
He's not terribly happy with you.
He don't like you very much, but he just wants to fight, man.
friend.
Should have let him fight.
These are dire times. Join me.
All right, let's see.
Glorious battle.
Nice.
He will pop up to his feet, roll in his eyes. That takes half his movement. So if you want him to dash, he has 60 feet of movement left.
Okay. I do want him to. So let me see. You said 60 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, so he can totally get to the fight here.
He can, but that does take his action, so he won't be able to attack as well on the same turn.
That's fine. I just want him here by my side.
Cool.
And then I want to attack with my silver shield.
All right. You're going to attack that one next to you?
Yeah,
Presumably.
presumably. 17.
That'll hit. All right. He takes 9 piercing damage.
9.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining the battle, my friend.
But
I try to pet him.
through the terrible Pharaoh's power of a gray ooze, for those of you who know the nightmarish qualities of gray ooze, the worst monster in D&D, by far, your solar shield, as you strike it, you see it begin to corrode
No!
with the destructive body of the gray ooze. That's right. They have corrosive properties to non-magical weapons.
Corrosive.
Any non-magical weapon made of metal that hits the ooze corrodes. After dealing damage, the weapon takes a permanent and cumulative -1 penalty to damage rolls.
Whoa.
Oh,
As it burns off several of the spikes on your spiked shield.
Garbage.
So I need to put that down in somewhere. Can I just I can amend that as a macro, right? I could just
Yeah, you should be able to alter the macro for Solar Shield to
okay.
change that.
And -1. I'm gonna do -1 for plus instead of 1d6
Yeah,
plus dex plus -1 is what I'm gonna do.
that should work. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I'm reminded of a tale from my youth of a brave swordsman named Link, and his conquest with jelly monsters that took his weapons.
That
This seems
sounds
similar.
like a very interesting story.
That's a good
Yes,
pun.
I've told this story to my children many times. Widely known through the lands.
To the lands.
All right. Now it's time for the two graves near Amubis to go. These things are completely brainless, and Dalio's shinier than you, so it's going to attack Dalio. I mean, he's not like metallically shinier, but he is a brighter color. Hang on. I believe 13 misses him.
I need to pop his sheet out here and just have it up.
You do need to.
And this one's gonna squish his way over to you. He's gonna do a little pseudopod attack. He will also miss you.
Yeah, 16.
Now it's time for the Alibaba Oozes. These guys are pretty slow. You're not that far from them. I think with their 10-foot movement, they can manage to get to you.
No.
Just barely, and just barely. So one of them is going to attack you. One of them is going to attack Kipling. They just squish along.
This is so horrible.
Mouth bacterium or whatever they are. That's the one to you. That's the one to Kipling.
Okay. The 19 hits.
You take 5 bludgeoning and 3 acid damage.
It just beats it. What was the 13 on me or Kipling?
Neither. There's a 12 that's on Kipling, and then there's a 19 that's on you.
Oh. Okay. Well, then the 19 hits
You
Alibaba.
take 5 bludgeoning and 3 acid damage. Are you wearing physical armor, or are you in mage armor?
Mage
He
armor.
has his dragon scales, right?
Or his
yeah.
dragon scales, yeah.
I have dragon scales and I have a shadowy mage armor.
Well, then neither of those are affected by this particular attack because neither of them are non-magical armor. So you just take 8 damage. And that's the end of them's, and it's your turn.
Well, so Alibaba looks over to Kipling and he kind of, I guess verbally he tells Kipling, we need to get away, we need to get out of here. And so Kipling and Alibaba will disappear.
Nice.
And
yeah,
reappear.
Kipling will give you a look like, you don't have to tell me twice. He's always happy to run away from a fight.
15 feet away. 1, 2, 5, 10, 15.
Do they do dex saves? Is that accurate?
Yeah, and I think I can. Yeah. He's gonna succeed on a dex saving throw.
I think they were both within 5 feet of it, right?
Yeah, because they were touching us when we teleported.
So that's the one that was near you. That's the other one. They both fail, so they both take a big 6 fire damage as they kind of jiggle as they take that Heat.
So 1d6 plus 3.
I think it already. Yeah, it already calculated it.
Oh,
So
okay.
it says damage 6 fire.
And I don't know if that uses
You still have your action. That was your bonus action to tell Kipling to do an action.
okay. And in that case,
We'll just make sure they're not vulnerable. I don't remember. Oh, they're actually resistant to fire.
wow.
Yeah, the fire doesn't seem to do as much as you might think it might.
Guys are rough.
So, seeing the fire kind of glance off them with no effect.
Yeah, they kind of morph back into the rocky shape that they were when you first saw them, and then keep coming at you. But you can see they're mildly singed.
So, Alibaba kind of thinks it over for just like a millisecond, and then casts Shatter
Ho
at
ho!
level 2.
Nice.
I'm gonna shat on them.
Don't you
Thunder
only cast-
damage. They're going to start vibrating and hopefully burst apart.
You can only cast things at 3rd level, I believe.
What?
Because you're a warlock. All your spells that you cast are at 3rd level.
Oh,
Whoa.
Yeah, so you do an
gonna-
extra. Roll another 1d8, and we'll add that to the total.
okay.
As part of your pact magic, you only have the 2 spell slots, but they're always of the highest level that you can cast.
All right, so 18 is going to be the total we're trying to avoid here.
I think
They
gonna make a
do
Constitution
con
save.
save. All right, so this is going to be the one that attacked you, and this is going to be the other one. So is that one
Here's the
success,
question,
one
though.
failure?
a
Are they-
creature made of inorganic material such as stone, crystal, or metal has disadvantage on this saving throw.
I mean, they're not made of stone, crystal, or metal. They're not made of anything solid. They're definitely
Okay.
an organic creature. They're just like not. They're more like giant bacterium than they are like.
We're not looking at like liquid mercury or anything. Okay.
No,
All
no.
right.
That. These are mouth bacteria. The one takes 9 damage. The other takes 18 damage. And man, it's on death's door. But it remains standing. Kroos, it's your turn.
They're tough.
Cool.
I think it's interesting that y'all's groups kind of matched your initiative more or less.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I thought it was interesting how it was like going.
It kind of alternates a little bit.
Yeah,
I guess Alibaba's the
Alibaba
exception.
is like one initiative off. So I am going to, I think, rotate around here.
Let's rotate the board.
Rotate the ball. And I'm gonna take one punch at. Oh man,
One punch.
Jinkies.
Whoa. Mm.
Could not be worse.
Oh man, that's terrible.
Sorry.
And it hits.
Hilarious.
It's horrible, but it does hit.
Are there?
That's
Is that not a
awesome.
crit? Is that not a crit fail?
Do they automatically miss?
I can't remember if that's.
I
a
don't.
real
I don't think
thing.
5e has crit fails.
Oh, you're right. It's. Wait, hold on. Critical failures don't. That one's auto fail. Yeah, if the D20 roll is an attack roll, if the D20 roll for an attack roll is 1, the attack misses regardless of any modifier.
Well, then it misses.
Indeed, sadly.
But you have extra attack.
I do have extra attack, so I am going to extrally attack just the same dude.
Which one are you attacking? Top left.
Top left, yeah.
Gotcha. So well, that'll definitely hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
14 thunder damage.
He will take 14 thunder damage indeed, as you kind of blow a neat little hole in his body, which reforms. But he's definitely a bit smaller than he was before. Quite a bit smaller.
I'm going to use my bonus action to
Yep.
get Rainer over there, and she's going to go ahead and strike Laser Claw
Force empowered rend. That'll hit.
for 4 force damage, the minimum she can do.
Wow, tough luck on those rolls.
A-okay. Oh, actually,
will-
I'm going to put her here.
Strike that old ooze.
That is
And,
in fact where she will be.
He do survive,
Well, that's fine.
but just a bit.
Just barely.
Yeah, so I reckon top left will, due to immediacy, attack Rainer, and then the other one will attack you because you're nearest.
All right.
As these are entirely brainless creatures.
I am going to...
This is top left first.
It will be
attacking
at
Rainer.
because I did hit it with a fist, and it is attacking someone other than me.
Terrific.
And the other one I'm going to make disadvantage due to deflect attack.
Terrific. They will both terrifically miss then.
Hellaciously.
And we're back to Amubis. Amubis.
He's gonna look down at his shield and he's gonna see the charred part and he's gonna say, "Not going to do that again." And he kind of clinks it back onto his back, and then he's gonna cast a guiding bolt at the one right. No. Oh, yeah. I guess guiding bolt next to. I was thinking.
You can do something else. That's disadvantage.
Oh,
Because there's somebody within 5 feet of you.
Here's the thing I will say, though. You're probably going to hit.
Yeah, I was gonna.
They do have very low AC.
It'll probably be okay. I mean, if you want to stick with the thing you've
But it
done,
will be disadvantage. You will have to roll again.
But it will be disadvantage, yes.
Okay.
And it will be perfectly fine.
16 still hits. Which one were you attacking?
The one, like to
Top
my
left or bottom right?
top
To the left?
To the left of me, yes.
Cool. Go ahead and roll damage. That's just a first level?
Yeah, just first level.
Cool. He will take 11 radiant damage.
How does he react to that damage?
Just fine. He takes it as you would expect him to. You kind of shave off the top of it, and it kind of reforms its surface tension, but in a smaller form. It's kind of how their HP is measured, by how much of them is left.
Okay. Then Dalio is going to do a maul.
He's close enough to enemies now. He's pumped. You don't have
Okay.
to convince him. He's ready to go.
Good. I smile a little bit because self-consciously I noticed that the other party members had better relationships with their companions.
Well, they used, in their defense, they used them.
I know. It was all I didn't say it wasn't my fault. That's not what I said.
That last turn was just like we were a fighting force. We managed to
Also, Rainer's just,
crack them all.
she's a people pleaser, you know. That'll hit.
Nice.
Did I not have a macro here?
You do, just click
if
the
you
damage.
click on the word maul.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so
Whoa.
it's the 13 slashing, not the 2 charge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has the most damage potential out of all of them, but the least versatility. Yeah, so that 13 damage, boom, he kills the one below him. He just solidly eats it, and the acid doesn't seem to bother him. Just kind of licking his lips, and seems he's happy as a clam.
Dalio, we found your niche. Well
He's
done.
got movement. He's got movement too, if you want him to.
Let's see. Who looks more? I kind of want to send him to aid my companions. I'm gonna send him over Alibaba's way.
Yeah, both of Alibaba's guys look more injured than the one next to you.
What about
The-
looking over at towards Karos's way?
The one's near Karos. The one nearest to Karos himself is completely uninjured, and the other one is nearly dead. And the one next to you is He's bloodied, but barely, shall we say.
It is bad if you take a hit, I will say. It is significantly worse than it would be for anyone else to take a hit if you took a hit.
Well, I don't think your armor is currently magical.
I was going to ask you about that. Does the feature arcane armor? So my
Does
armor,
it say it makes it magical?
it doesn't say it makes it magical. It says you make your armor a conduit for your magic, and my armor then has a lot of extra effects on it, but it doesn't necessarily.
Let me take a gander. Wow.
It's a
While
I looked it
Anubis
up,
decides what he does.
I'm gonna
and
move.
it's a sticky subject.
I'm gonna move Dalio to the rear of the Grey Ooze, so he's gonna scoot around this structure and slide in behind the Grey Ooze.
My shield is magical.
I think it comes down to like, is an arcane focus magical? No.
Yeah, and
It
I
just
think
facilitates magic.
I think if we're saying capital N magical is also a different thing, because I can still infuse my armor with my infusions, and that says it has to be a non-magical object. So
Right. So could
think
you
that-
infuse it? Yes, absolutely.
yeah, I
Which
think
case-
it is the game terms magical and non-magical, even though like obviously my armor is magical. It's currently like
Are these
hissing
guys
or-
likely to hit you? No.
also, yeah.
But dare we
There's-
defy the die?
There's a good
Never.
15%.
We would
chance that they hit
never.
me.
All right, Dalio moves there. This is the ooze. Well, the ooze near Anubis goes first. I deleted it, but it's the one near Anubis next.
The classic DM curse.
You know, it's always the one.
It's always the one.
Yeah, Dalio came up on him, so he's going to attack Dalio. It sensed movement and strikes out in its very instinctual kind of way. Well, it doesn't really have disadvantage, but it still has a 6. So it misses Dalio. Alibaba, it is your turn.
All right. So we're just
These guys attacked you, right?
they did, and then we
Did I never
teleported.
move them up? You teleported. That's what it
Teleported,
was.
yeah. But that was just their turn.
I was like, did I never move them up?
The 10.
Okay,
10
it is
count
their
was
turn.
their turn.
Yeah.
So it's
So
their
So sorry.
To that point-
it's their turn. I just deleted something. So
right
they
now.
can- I think they can still reach you.
Yeah, they should be able to
Blah, blah,
if it's
blah.
their turn.
They're just gonna repeat their round.
And
Where the
those
top
are
one is.
pools of acid, right?
Pardon?
Those are pools of acid that they're in, but it's just not bothering them.
Yeah, they are. This is their territory.
Makes sense.
They're not immune to acid, but they're immune to this acid. I feel like that's
They are immune to stomach acid.
correct. There are different kinds of acid. That's the one attacking you. That's the one attacking Kipling. They both miss.
Mm-hmm.
they have
And
one layer resistance. They have a layer immunity to acid.
yeah, it is kind of a weird scenario, but I feel like it's reasonable.
Yeah, it's totally right. I mean, they could just not walk in it too really easily.
I don't think they have the movement to hit them and not walk in it. They only have 10 movement.
I don't think anyone's gonna fight you on it though. Seems
Yeah,
reasonable.
I am.
Taking umbrage.
Well, instead of missing, they just didn't attack.
It's 6-1.
I think we're
I mean, we could
essentially
just
going to
say-
repeat the exact same thing we did the last turn.
You know, just keep it up. Wait, let me just do something. Roll 2d6. So they would have taken 4 acid damage. You know what? Why not? They're resistant but not immune. So that one dies of acid. This one just takes a bit of acid damage because he's a fool. But he
Like a
survives.
dummy.
He's very grievously injured though, if that changes what you do. Egregiously injured.
I'm trying to. Well, it's okay. So Kipling is going to attack with his ranged flame seed attack.
He
He
spits
slashes.
fire. That'll hit. He does resist, but we'll see what it does. Takes 2 fire damage. He's still standing.
All right. Well,
But
in
he's
that
doing
case,
rough. He's doing rough.
Alibaba's gonna pull out his staff and hold on to his flask and cast, I guess, with disadvantage, Eldritch Blast.
Oh, still fine.
Yeah, not to talk you into or out of anything. Don't you have Shocking Grasp?
I do.
This is more damage.
Yeah, might as well. That definitely hits, and that'll kill. It will kill.
Display.
And we're going to use our movement to head back towards the others.
You actually, how far are you? Because you've got a second shot. You might be able to hit from where you are. Because Eldritch Blast has a 120.
You'd certainly be able to hit
Snipe
Oozes, and then you'd probably.
Are you talking about my twin spell meta?
No,
Magic?
Eldritch Blast, when you're level 5, fires 2 bolts instead of 1. And you can
my
point them at
gosh.
different targets.
My life has changed.
Yeah, level 5's a huge power jump for everyone.
I feel like
So from what
Kairos
you can
needs
see,
the most help right now.
the one at the top left there near Kairos is nearly dead. The other one's fully healthy. You can tell this easily because they shrink in size drastically as they get damaged.
Okay, I'm going to shoot at the small one.
The nearly dead one?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. That'll hit.
I guess roll again, or...
Yeah, just roll again.
You do have to roll
Unless you... Pretty
Okay.
much unless you get a 1, I think you'll hit.
There's always a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Mhm.
There's always a 5% chance.
Yeah, that'll hit. I also think you can't do so little damage that you wouldn't kill it. Chapow! It's dead. And obviously it was the 1. But I remember. I've got it in my brain. I know where they are.
Yeah, that hit would have hit a Tarask, so you're fine.
Yeah, and you and Kipling both have movement you can use if you'd like. It's up to you.
Yeah, we're going to move our 30 feet towards... over here towards Anubis.
Sure. All right, Karos, it is indeed your turn.
All right.
No faking out here.
I'm gonna go ahead and move Rainer over, and
Sure.
she will strike that particular laser
Strike
claw.
Oh, woo!
11
She's doing
force.
damage
That is the
today.
maximum amount that she can do.
She's doing damage today.
Doing work.
Evening out to average damage, baby. Yeah, she cleaves it in half, and half of it dies and half of it remains.
And I will pummel the remaining bit
Boom.
with my regular fist, just in case it missed, for 8 damage. And then if that doesn't work, try another 12 damage.
Together they will do it. Kaboom.
Use my Kirk double punch.
That'll do. Your guys are dead, so it is indeed Anubis' turn.
Dalio! Enjoy!
He's still hungry, baby. He wants to eat.
I just give him a nod.
More like great booze.
Ah, this guy.
Everybody booze.
I like that one better.
Dahlia's a heal. 8 slashing. He remains standing, but he's... Oh man, he's hurt. This guy sure is hurt.
Then I will
Oh, man.
polish it off with a sacred flame.
Oh, la, 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 la. What
I
save
bet
is
they
that?
don't have-
Wisdom?
Dex.
Dexterity?
I bet they've got Garbo there.
With their 10 movement, I can't imagine their dex is all that terrific. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. There you go ahead and hit that. 10 radiant. That'll do it. Burns it right up.
Nice.
And they're dead. So
Sounded like you were putting out a candle.
it was kind of like that. I was putting out the sacred flame after it burned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now that that whole combat obviously took a few seconds. The sphincter is still kind of spasming, and as the acid drains through, it's considerably lower. There is now exposed platform that you can walk through.
I say we get going quickly.
Yes. Let's.
Let's run.
Swallowed by the worm.
Platform.
Swallowed by the worm.
Yes, Kipling and I just bound over the acid onto the platforms, and we're just.
I say we all just go barreling through.
Or you went around. It's all.
Chariots of fire. He ran alongside it, and some of the
I
acid.
think
flashed
Kipling
up.
is strong enough to carry me.
Medium creatures
kind
cannot
of-
carry medium creatures.
Yeah, and he's also he's a little bit incorporeal in that he's
Okay.
made of fire. The only one that's Dalio's the only one that's a biological being. And then Dalio and Rainer are both physical beings, and Kipling is kind of neither.
Okay.
But yeah, you pass through and you find yourself in kind of a pooled area of acid where things are much more settled. There's a slow flow coming from. Yes, you can see this is a rotated map, but it just made more sense with the orientation of the last room. But yes, the what am I saying?
They're bubbling pools.
The acid is more pooled here and less flowing. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere in particular. It also doesn't have any sort of immediately evident exits. It seems to be a contained room.
Ah, yes, the stomach.
One point of interest, just to get it out in the world. I didn't think that our companions would be able to exist outside of the path. I sort of assumed that they were a partial, a part of it. It seems to imply that maybe what we take from the path will genuinely be ours at the end of it, which is an interesting concept. The path is genuinely creating these things. Not any sort of illusion or anything like that. It is using what materials it has to genuinely facilitate the creation of these, I don't know, things. And from what we've heard, these creatures did die probably a few times, just like us, and yet the path has continued to genuinely recreate them. It's marvelous. It must take a wonderful amount of power and energy.
You look over and you see Rainer's got an incredibly blank stare, just kind of looking expectantly at you. Dalio's scratching his ear in a distracted manner, and Kipling looks massively disappointed. And he's kind of looking at you, obviously was listening to what you're saying.
Is it possible this is the, they wanted to be on the path, and now they have been torn from it?
Yes, I also do have another theory where we are still on the path, and this is just a part of it. I don't see why Nerungwe would lie, and it does appear that we are in a different place than the path. I mean, there's no doors or anything like that, but there's a chance that this is all still it, or at least a part of its overall goal. I mean, the path has shown itself to be quite powerful. I don't know how powerful this large worm is that it can intersect the path without it directly allowing it. Who's to say? We'll have to ask the smiling man.
If we ever see him again.
Fair point. Amubis, are you okay? It looks like your armament got burned.
He sniffles a little bit. I don't want to talk about it. Yes, the creatures seem to have corroded my beloved shield. But, Dalio, I turned to Dalio. You did great work back there. And I like reach into like for a pet, and then I look at him, and he's kind of a regal creature. So I like to not belittle him. I just kind of give him a couple nods.
Yeah, he when you start to reach a pet, he definitely leans away, and then as you nod, he just kind of he raises his chin a little bit, but he doesn't acknowledge.
Good talk. Well, progress through around these pools then. What is?
Yes, unless we'd like to take any form of break or anything like that, I think we can just press onward. I'm not terribly hurt, but I just wanted to check in with you all, make sure.
Neither am I, and quite honestly, I don't like anywhere where there's standing acid, so I would prefer a brisk move through this area.
Certainly an OSHA violation, yes.
What's a OSHA?
It's the rule of the ocean. Something he learned from Joe class. The ocean has certain safety standards.
Like
One of them not
Operation
being-
Safety Hazard Association or something.
And very strange plays where people's fingers get ripped off and stuff. It all seems a little bit alarmist.
Is there a sphincter behind us with acid flowing out of it?
The acid is slowed greatly. It seems to have already collected in the pools. It's a trickle, but it's not something that's impeding you at this point.
Okay.
As of right now, the sphincter is still kind of quivering open. It's almost like you triggered a sort of gag reflex almost. So there's no particular change there.
All right, shall we press onward a little bit towards less acidic ground? I say we move to that central rock and assess our current locale. So
Yes.
I'm going to attempt to hop around the rocks and make sure not to fall in.
I don't hop. I gingerly, like so gingerly, like excessive tiptoeing. Like doesn't need to be done that carefully, but like he's really like tiptoeing around. Like he deals with death and stuff, but like active stomach acid and stuff is like out of his
Permadeath.
comforts. Yeah.
So, Alibaba's following a similar path to you all, but then as he's going along, Kipling actually just appears to jump into the acid and then hovers in the air across the acid.
Oh yeah, that levitate speed though.
Kind of. Yep.
Ghost powers.
Yeah, so as I said, there's no evident exit to this room besides the sphincter you entered from. If you want to have a look around, you may do like a perception check or however.
I will
will.
perceive with guidance. Ooh, fantastic.
Guided perception. Alibaba was like, yes, this ground is made of ground.
when it isn't really.
Indeed.
I do exist.
Mm. Mm.
Double confirming. Oof.
Yeah, so Karos is the only one with a decent perception here. You can see moving towards Alibaba.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
Cube. It's so cubic. How is it so perfectly square? On all sides. Dear God.
Pork? What?
We need some cube hype.
Look out!
Need some cubite.
Gelatinous cube. Cube.
Every time.
I'm gonna drop the beat now.
Somebody drop out?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone dropped out. I think it was...
I couldn't hear y'all for a little while.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, we couldn't hear you either if you were talking.
Okay,
the
I must have
cube has
dropped
an
out.
air horn
I just
stuck in it.
reconnected and we got back.
Gotcha.
All right, so Karos, you see a gelatinous cube heading towards Amubis, and you see a second gelatinous cube moving toward you in this pool.
Oh, dear.
Oh no.
They're gelatinous, they're cubical.
I point at them and I just yell, Cube!
Cube!
So much corrosion.
Yeah, these are
Okay.
some acid enemies, I'll tell you what. But I will say also, because you had a terrific perception check, you can see in some of the areas of this room where, like here, where the folds come to a point, you can see a small stream of fluids going through there. So you believe that these are some sort of potential exits.
Interesting. Well, we got to deal with these cubes first.
Cubes.
Time to get
We get
corrosive.
an initiative, or do we get some? Do we get some actions?
Let's say. Sorry, here.
What does that mean?
I'm
We'll
just
just
thinking
take
how
what
to
we'll
do
do.
this. Okay, yeah. So it can't even reach.
Was that
So
cube?
because you're the only one who noticed, you and the gelatinous cubes can get an action, and then we'll roll in
Rainer,
everybody
because
else.
She can't be surprised.
What's that?
I said, and Rainer, because she can't be surprised.
Yes, she goes on your turn anyways. So yeah, this one can't. From where it was in the middle of this pool. You can reach Dalio, but not Amubis. So it's going to make a move. I mean, you can roll initiative against them.
Yeah, do so.
For sure.
Wonk. Bad.
Wow, what is this? The world's speediest gelatinous cube? All right, that's
It
the
was.
bottom.
It was just prepared.
That's the bottom one.
Oh my
That's
God.
more like it.
propelled.
That's more what I expected.
-1.
That's
That's
fantastic.
more what I expected.
It goes back in
Yeah,
time.
the other one had a 19. If that
It'll-
tells you how slow these losers are.
It'll go next week.
That's hilarious. Out of 19, out of 50.
That is wild.
That is the world's fastest gelatinous cube, though.
It is almost as fast as it can be.
All right, it's gonna take a swat at Dalio
No.
with its pseudopod. Oh my goodness.
Oh, jeez.
Wowzers.
Okay, Dalio's taking a big fat 18 damage.
No,
What?
Dalio.
Swats him with his acid arm. And then it's Kuros's turn.
Okay.
How much damage was that?
18?
18.
It's time to get corrosive.
It's time to get careless.
I'm gonna send Rainer over here.
Rainer here. This is Jimmy.
Go for Jimmy. Back laser claw. 12. Does that hit?
I believe it does, but let's just have a gander. Oh yes, it terrifically is.
Fantastic. For 11 force damage, maximum damage.
She's on top of it today.
And I am going to move my
It
own
slices
spell.
through the gel of this gelatinous cube.
I'm going to move over here. And no, I'm going to move over here. That's silly. And I'm going to...
Schmooming schmade.
Yeah, I think I'll shimmy spade.
Shimmy, shimmy.
Boom.
That'll hit.
Shimmy, shimmy.
For 19 damage.
Ooh, baby.
And it is wreathed in electricity. And the little beeping diode as usual.
It makes a nice jiggle as it.
Jiggle, it shakes, it does everything.
Job of the Hut.
All right, it's going to attempt to engulf you. It's
All
going
right.
to move into your space. Let me see if this does it type the whole thing. Yeah, okay.
It will take 4 damage due to moving.
It'll take 2d8. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's right. Nice. I forgot that also got increased, which is why this is a fantastic cantrip.
It's not smart enough to not. So you do a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, I'm bad at those, so let's see how this goes. 15, perfect.
Yep, that'll pass. And then on a successful save, the creature chooses to be pushed 5 feet back or to the side of the cube. So whichever you prefer.
Where would the
So
side?
it's
Here?
basically moved here. Yeah. Just
Yeah, I'll go here. This
Sounds
is
good.
good for me.
So it was not able to engulf you. So everyone else roll initiative now.
No.
Oh, quick,
Do it now.
Do it now.
roll.
Roll the dice.
Yes, FYI to
They have
y'all,
rolled
they
the big
have it
numbers.
on a DC 15. They are invisible unless you perceive them because they blend in with the environment. So
Gotcha.
Karos was the only one who went above 15.
I was also like, isn't my passive perception also 15? And the answer is yes.
Yeah, I went with meets it beats it because passive versus passive. I was like, I think those kind of neutral each
You're
other.
right. It does cancel each other out.
Boom.
I don't know if that's
Wow.
technically correct.
DM's
All
choice,
right.
baby.
Amubis, you're up to bat.
Could I tell offhand if these are similar bodies, types to the creatures we fought? Like
You saw both Rainer and Karos hit them, and nothing adverse seemed to happen to them.
I like the sound of that. Then I'm gonna move into position over here.
That doesn't actually mean anything, but nothing adverse happened to us anyway. But hey, it's neither here nor there.
And I'm going to cast. No, I'm not going to cast. I'm just going to try a Solar Shield.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
And I'm going to hit that.
You stab its goo, and its goo is stabbed.
I want to use Dalio's movement. Oh, geez, what's happening? Okay. I want to use Dahlia's movement to get in a charge. There's about 15 feet between it and that cube. So, could it do a...
I think it's got to be a straight line, doesn't
It's
it?
got to be a straight line.
You could
Well,
back
it's got
up and then
40
It does.
feet of movement, though.
It's got to be a straight line. Also, if it moves away from this cube, it will take an opportunity attack, but that's...
Oh,
Up to
because
you.
it's right there. Okay.
Yeah, he's right
Well, I'll let it maul the one it's next to then,
Okay.
till we get a better position on it. I should have stuck with Dalio. All right, hang on.
It's all right. Divide and conquer. D and C, you know.
That's what I was doing. I trusted Rainer to take care of some
We got
opportunities.
the
I didn't mean to charge. I didn't mean to
we got the
charge.
pet cube. We got the human cube. That'll hit. 12 slashing damage. The gel is slashed as you slash the gel. Alibaba.
That sounds like an Axe body spray or an Axe body something.
So,
So
we are gonna attack the weak gelatinous cube. It's already been damaged.
they've both been damaged somewhat.
Yeah.
I will say the one near the people is more damaged looking than the one near the animals.
Sensing this weakness, the natural predatory instincts of Kipling will kick in as he casts Flame Seed.
That'll hit.
And
It kind of
then-
sinks in, does some fire damage. It seems to affect these better than it affected the gray oozes.
And then Alibaba will cast Eldritch Blast.
Little
twice.
EB. Those will both hit.
Why are my rolls so insane?
You're killing it with those rolls, man.
On the
I mean, I don't want to tell you there's no need, but
Yeah, this is like the most worthless attack rolls, really. Just
Um,
don't fail.
and then an additional 3 fire damage. So that'll be 21 force and 3 fire damage for a total of 24 damage.
And we're just gonna
Bonkers.
back up. And
Yeah, that
and
gelatinous cube, he's looking rough. He's having a hard time holding together his surface tension.
Aren't we all? Hashtag COVID.
All right, this gelatinous cube here, which is the one near the animals. It's going to attempt to engulf. It doesn't recognize Rainer as edible, so it's going to attempt to engulf Dahlia. So he needs to do a DC 12 dexterity saving throw. As this thing bloop.
And as it moves out of Rainer's range,
Correct.
it will use her
That'll hit.
attack of opportunity. Not very much, but hey,
Laser Claw.
it's some damage. Yeah, that's a Zoids reference for all y'all.
I don't know. It's a great question about their reaction. I assume they can just use it as they please.
Yes, I believe it has specifically mentioned that they can use their reaction. Yeah,
Swell.
it can move and use its reaction on its own. But
Perfect.
the only action it takes.
I
is
assumed. I wasn't going to stop it or nothing. I was just like, I don't remember that.
So
rule.
I need to do a dex save for Dalio,
For Dalio, yes.
and I add my proficiency though to that, even though it probably won't
I
help.
believe it's already added.
Oh, it does help. Meets it, beats
Oh no,
it, baby.
Yeah.
That brings him up to 12, and he does not get engulfed.
Nice. Woo.
So you just have to move him here.
Either one back or
One up or one back or one diagonal. Just move
Okay.
him one space wherever you would like him. There you go. All right, he was unable to engulf. It's Kurosa's turn.
Dalio, I was worried about you.
Okay, I am going to. I'll take another booming blade at this guy.
Moving schmade.
See how we can't hit him.
That'll hit him.
Crack a pow with an 18.
And that'll do it. This gelatinous cube pops at your
Huzzah.
thunder damage. Poosh! Blows him open.
That's
Initiative on stream is covering the battle.
Five,
I don't know what that means.
The turn order thing
Oh, okay,
is
yeah.
the
Yeah.
size of the...
Yeah,
Very
Craig, you might want to close out the turn order on the stream. so that people can see it.
Can I do that? Okay, I'll just move
You
it.
can certainly make it small.
You can just exit out, I think.
No. It's not the... I'm telling you, man, it's not the same on this thing.
You can shrink it.
Shrink it.
Things
I
can
can
happen.
I can see the little button to shrink it.
Stuff happens.
Little shrink 'em button.
Where's shrinking button?
Bottom right.
Bottom right. Or top right.
I can see it on
or
the
top
screen.
left. Anything you like.
Well, the stream's got a lag, anyways.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and have a Rainer
Attack the G cube.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where I can position her so that maximum reactions can occur. I'll put her.
Somebody come get her.
No, I will put her.
Yeah, she has to be within 5 feet, right?
She's acting like a cube.
And I'll go.
A cuber.
A cuber.
9 force.
As she tears into it, Anubis, it's your turn.
Dang Skippy. I'm gonna move over to my boy. And oh my Lanta. Okay.
Just
All right, there we go.
flee into a pool of acid.
Yeah, just dive right in. And help my boy out with a solar shield.
Oh, that'll hit. Squish. Take a 9 piercing.
And then Dalio will get his
Roar.
maul in. Once I get things loaded.
Going in the mall like a valley girl.
Ha. Not this lion. It's the beast of the land, not beast of the mall. 16?
That'll hit.
Yeah. Will.
So 8 slashing.
Mm-hmm.
But the cube remains.
Oh, no.
Cubula. Alibaba, it's your turn.
Finish it off, Alibaba.
Unleash the armada. The
ranged, the artillery over here. Artillerist artificer who?
Hoomst of.
do they all hit?
Those will all hit.
Damage.
Wow.
Damage.
This thing's super dead.
Yeah, that's what a lot of damage. What's that? 37 damage? Yeah, it'll do it. He popped.
Right.
Oh man, I was gonna get to engulf 2 of you. Wow.
So sometimes it seems to say plus 10 force, and then sometimes it doesn't. Is there something?
That is your critical hit.
Okay.
Whatever the plus says is the extra dice that it's rolled.
Which you rolled a 10 on both of those die. So that's your maximum crit.
That is
damage.
literally your absolute maximum.
Yeah, that was
thing
a
is,
terrific roll. So with the danger apparently gone,
The damage has been
you
cubed.
remain in this room, which some have dubbed stomach.
Some say.
Dalio,
Stomach.
are you okay? You seemed injured, friend.
You're the one with his character sheet.
I know it, that's what I'm saying.
Is he just covered in slime?
So you tell me. I don't know.
Yeah,
What's his
he's-
HP at?
He's like at 12.
Well, there you go. Well, he gets healed normal like a player character. The other 2 have special ways they get healed and stuff, but not him.
Yeah.
He's a regular guy.
I was going to ask, is your... I seem to have intuitive knowledge that if Rainer goes down, I do know how to repair her. She's fairly similar to how I would repair, my armor or something, so I can figure it out pretty easily. Does Dalio have anything like that? Is he just a beast, or would you be able to bring him back?
He is a beast. Similar to me, and I kind of pound my chest a little bit.
So if he dies, he dies.
Let me fact check that.
Or possibly you can spend a first level spell slot to bring him back.
There was something about that. Hang on a second. Loading. Character sheet. Yeah,
I forgot.
I can bring him back.
I forgot. I can also I can forego my attack actions to let her attack as well. That is
Oh yeah,
an
for double attacks.
for potentially triple attacks for her. I can take the attack action and then just command her to. Oh wait, no, maybe it's only one. Yeah, it's only one. My bad. Yep, double attacks. Anyway, it's interesting.
I don't think it's worth it, but
If
You
we
could.
No, but there's a situation in which it might be.
if we were to take a rest, would the companions benefit from a rest?
yeah, they have hit die.
Okay.
I believe. I think it's in there somewhere.
I don't
Yeah.
remember seeing it.
I mean, that seems right.
I think
They-
they have hit die equal to your level. I think they have d8s equal to your level, all of them.
That would make sense if they had something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't say, but they
plus 5 times your level.
yeah they have d8s equal to your level, so they have 5d8 that they can heal themselves on short rest.
Okay.
Would you like to take a short rest?
For Dalio's sake.
Yes, that sounds good.
Alright, I'm gonna roll some d8s for my boy.
Yeah, so we'll try to make these rocks a little bit more comfortable. And
Yeah, definitely that center area seems to be the farthest from the acid.
relatively safe. I'm gonna go ahead and roll
Perhaps the widest.
a hit die myself for
Hey.
maximum healing. And I'm gonna have Rainer roll.
Oh, and then plus his con mod, so that's 2d8 plus 4. So that's 12 healing for Dalio.
12 healing,
Rainer.
so he's up to 24.
Yeah, you can do more if you
I'm
want.
gonna do one more that should put him right at the max.
So that's
3.
5 more.
Um,
Okay.
and
3
over
plus
this
his
short
con mod. What's up?
over this short rest, I'm going to use my ability, the right tool for the job,
Oh.
and magically produce a non-magical alchemist set.
Cool. Neat little ability.
Indeed.
Artificers. Alibaba, are you going to do any resting?
Yeah.
Seeing as how you get all of your things
We'll
back,
get those
I
spells
truly
back
hope
anyway.
you will.
Nah, I just want to play on hard mode.
Just gonna let it
Let me
ride.
roll a hit die.
Yeah, no short rest Warlock. Speaking of
Alright.
Warlock, I'll be playing a Warlock in our Sunday campaign.
That's
Wow.
right, folks. Sunday nights at
Sunday.
8,
Sunday.
starting in 2 weeks on the 30th. Check it out for Kaiju Slayer.
Let's just say I foresee it being a
Uh,
fun campaign.
I don't think you've mentioned that it's a level 20 campaign, so that doesn't mean anything to anyone currently.
Way
It
to
is like
ruin
a
it.
funny
I was
campaign.
saving that part till the end.
Do you know how advertising works?
You do not
Yeah.
tell us what you are and aren't saving. Like, if you mention information to us, please mention if it is for saving or not.
It's
Like a
called
Justice League movie. I wasn't
Burying
gonna
the
tell them
Lead.
Superman was in it. I don't think we're at the growth level that we can afford to bury the lead with our 3 viewers.
Yeah.
I think we need to put
You
it
really
all
ought to
out
put
there.
put the tiger
all
on the
out
table and
there.
go at it.
I'm still
All right.
learning how to market.
Or at least
For our viewers out there, level 20 is a big deal.
It's the
it is
highest level a
maximum
Dungeons
level.
and Dragons character can be.
It's
It is very difficult to play, to be perfectly honest.
We're gonna figure it out.
It's
There
like
are
a
a
truck with a Hemi engine in it.
A billion things you can do at any given time.
Might I just end up Eldritch blasting things? Perhaps. But
Perhaps we
not.
will see.
I'm gonna do a hit die.
It is my hope to not.
I don't know how I have 6 less hit points, but
Then Dahlia, or just then your max. Got
then
it.
my max. Yeah, I don't remember taking any damage, so that must
We
have been
took damage from the crocodiles. I don't know if you did too.
I think I did.
Because we took damage from the fall.
Yeah, you
and
came.
stuff like that, so.
Yeah, when you fell in the acid, you took damage. I think you all took 6 damage, so that's probably what it was from.
Yeah.
Got it.
Because you did a series of saving throws to not get dragged in.
And then remind me again, spells are on a long rest, right?
Long rest.
Okay.
Correct.
Just checking. I want to try some of my big level spells.
Big boys. Oh yeah, you got some 3rd level spells, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
I only have my 2nd. I just got 2nd level spells.
I got them
That
locked and loaded.
That half caster.
Yeah, it's different a little bit than Paladin, but I think after 2nd level it becomes Paladin-esque. Because you get 1st level spells at 1st level, whereas Paladins get them at 2nd, but then you don't grow really. Like two 1st level spell slots at 1st level and 2nd level. Then
More like Ranger then. No, Ranger get them at 2 as well, don't they?
I think Ranger and Paladins are the same, and I think Artificers are also the same, except for they just get
They start at
access
level
to the
1
second
instead of
level
2.
stuff at 1st level. So
Fair enough.
it's only
Well-
mildly different.
We can stop there if y'all want, or we can go a bit longer if y'all want. However,
Might be good to pause
whatever
there.
y'all are feeling.
Yeah, I think
Good
normally
pausing point.
In the belly of the beast.
believe the beast.
That is a excellent title for next week's stream, actually.
There you go.
Belly
Nice.
We'll look at
Take
that.
it.
Well, thank you, P.S. Zombie, leading us through some pretty vile parts of the inside of a body, but exciting nonetheless. Thank you for that journey. It was a fun time, and we got some good licks in as far as combat. We got 2 little battles that we went through. I feel like we usually just get through one in a session, so that was good.
Well, it's like I'm still kind of feeling out the strength of y'all because you got a lot going on right now.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out 5th level characters.
Especially 5th level characters with pets they're not supposed to have, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
I
We are
feel
doing
the
that.
power right now.
The power. Yeah, when
Spreading out
Alibaba's
the
out here doing like 40 damage per round, I gotta
Yeah.
figure out what's
The
going on.
power is
He's
mine.
from 400 feet away doing 4 billion damage.
Yeah.
That's right. So that concludes tonight's episode. Join us next week for another round of Unbeaten Path to see how the Beta Bros get out of this one.
Specifically out of this worm.
Yeah, out of this worm. Thank you for that. That was clever. We will be continuing this campaign, so you don't want to miss it next week. Again, you can find all of our content here on Twitch. We will be moving over some of our videos to YouTube as well to archive those. But if you're watching this now or later, we thank you. Also, to do another plug, and I'm going to start with the right thing to market this plug, we're going to be doing a level 20, which is ridiculously high, powerful characters, on Sunday night, starting on the 30th of May. That's in 2 weeks. And that will also be at 8 o'clock, and we will be running 2 campaigns a week, which is just insane. But we are trying to give you some good content. So this campaign will be a level 20 campaign set in a Pacific Rim universe. So the title of this campaign is Kaiju Slayer, and you don't want to miss it because it's going to be pretty
those
fun.
who don't know, that's going to be like a set in modern times campaign, not a sort of swords and sorcery type deal. It's going to be set in like 2018 or something like that.
It's also going to have a bit of a roster shuffle. I believe me and Joel will not be participating.
Yes, we're going to have new players. I will be a player. Putu will be the DM, and then we will have 2 new players, literally new to Dungeons and Dragons, more or less, the both of them, playing these level 20 characters. So we're going to have a fun little mess around. Possibly all die. We'll
Just
see.
jumping right into the deep end.
Yeah.
I was like,
I am
well-
terribly afraid.
well,
for
one's
them.
barbarian and one's monk, so at least they're a little bit autopilot
classes.
Yeah, you can kind of just
Yeah, and I told it's one of my friends from work, and I was like, dude, you